Hey everyone, how's it going? Um, can anybody hear me? Can anybody see what's going on? Hey Madeline, so you can see what's happening, right? Cool, cool. How about you, Angela? How are you doing? Don't know if everything's okay your end. And Madeline, I'm excited to hear about the coloring book. Well, sorry, not coloring book. It's the book that you mentioned just about an hour ago about the coloring techniques and ideas that you could come up with in creating that kind of mottled effect that you'd asked about in the Facebook group. Cool. And I just want to check as well, because I've got my headphones in, and so I'm getting like feedback. I can sort of hear myself speaking. I wanted to make sure that that's not happening for you guys. In fact, I'm going to try. Oh, yeah, that did not go well. Did you hear that? I kind of unplugged my headphones and then got this crazy feedback. Madeline heard it. Angela, cool, doing great. How is everyone today? I'm doing very well. I mentioned in the chat box that it's quite cloudy but sunny-ish here in London, and at least it's warm. That's all I can say. Madeline's doing well. Good to hear. Actually, I know, Madeline, you celebrated something pretty cool yesterday, you and Steve. That was pretty good to hear. I wonder how everyone else's weekend was. If anyone wanted to know, I've been busy renovating the house that I live in with my girlfriend and my cat. So I'm about halfway through finishing the studio office, and I'm excited about finishing it because it will mean I can properly unpack all of my stuff and all the art materials, which are just in boxes and other things at the moment. So yeah, looking forward to being able to finally get in. Yeah, I'm going to try my best to, if I sound a bit weird as I'm speaking, and it's because I can hear a delayed version of myself in my headphones. So it's a bit difficult to speak and then also hear myself back like 2 seconds later. So yeah, apologies if I do sound a bit odd as I'm speaking. So actually, one thing that Madeline had mentioned, it was about creating a kind of mottled effect with, I think it was a mermaid's tail, the picture that you posted up, Madeline. And I thought what I would do was to go through how we could layer up color today. And it actually ties in really well because we can try and go through some of these mottled effects using some of the other colors. So Madeline, you just said you just put on your headphones, and do you hear the kind of delayed effects of my voice or something else? Anyway, as I'm waiting for that, I thought I'd just show you what I've been experimenting with. and it was about how you can layer up color and add texture and further depth. I think often, when whether it's painting or coloring, the default thing is to obviously just go into your coloring pencil tin or whatever it is, and just select the color that's directly there and just start using it. And I think that the great thing is obviously you can combine and blend and create so many different kinds of combinations, and obviously create more subtlety and depth by blending colors together, start to layer them up. And in fact, for one of the ideas that I had for creating a mottled effect, I don't know where it's gone, but I had some tape here earlier, and what I was doing was creating these kind of different layers and building up these different layers of little patches of color, and then using sort of like a low tack or not very sticky masking tape to lift certain areas off the surface, so you can kind of rather than just kind of constantly adding to the colors on the surface, it was to kind of lift areas away, so you can kind of lift some parts of the surface. Angela, I'm at work, no feedback, I'm using headphones. Cool. So glad to hear you can't hear my voice twice over, because it is quite annoying. So what I was doing here was just using a kind of one of the lighter colors that I wanted to use. So this yellow, and I think it's the canary yellow, Prismacolors, from Prismacolors, sorry, and just beginning to create a kind of ground or background. So just by really subtly building up a kind of base layer with which to add all of our other colors on top. And in all of these cases here, I always work from light to dark. I don't know if anyone else, or what everyone else does, but it would be interesting to hear. So really what I was doing was working in corners or certain areas and just slowly kind of working my way through from the lightest colors to a kind of mid, and then any other colors such as green or purple or like a rose or pink, kind of dropping in these little corners or patches that could then be blended together. And then finally using a color that acted like a blender to blend everything together. Madeline, also light to dark, cool. Yes, I think it's the best way to work with colored pencils. So with this little area here, so I've just used the yellow, the green, and then you might want to combine another green on top. And I often find actually putting in a color that's quite complementary, so maybe a pink or something like that on top of the green, it picks out some of the other white areas that are in there, and when you're blending it with the yellow, I think it creates a nice little effect. But obviously, I think that altogether, when working in lots of little areas and then blending them all together, that's where you get that kind of full effect, I think, rather than just working in these little corners. So using a kind of medium, what do we have here? A yellowed orange, something that's a little darker than the background color. And then I'm just slowly working into the green and then also the yellow, the background color. changing direction. I don't know if, as you're working, how many of you like to work in circles or like to just work in straight lines? But I always like to change the direction that I'm working in. I find it helps to create a kind of smoother finish and effect. So I think what I might try in this corner here is blue, and then I'll try a pink down here. So yeah, Madeline, what was the name of the book that you've been able to get hold of? I'd be intrigued to see how that works out for you. And I'll try and get some close-ups of this in a second. So you can see what's going on. And I'll just try pink down here. One other idea I had, and I've been experimenting with lots of little things here, but with the mottled effect, it was to just kind of create little circles or tiny patches of a complementary color. So it picks out, rather than everything appearing smooth and flat, it just creates a little bit more texture in there. So I could even add a bit of pink in here, at the top. Amy, I'm here. Okay, so Madeline says the book is called Colorist's Special Effects by Helen Elliston. Cool. I think I've seen that in some other groups as well, but I'd be interested to hear what you think of it. Don't worry, Madeline, about your bad typing. That's something I'm guilty of a lot. So the idea is, obviously, as I'm working through, I'm using a kind of like a mid yellow or something that is slightly darker than the background color to begin to blend in some of these other colors. And I find that it helps to really soften things and create unusual kind of colors that you wouldn't normally get where if you're just using something that's straight from the colored pencil itself. You can see how kind of much more orange that pink is looking. Even the blue doesn't really look green, but it's starting to work well. Just add another pink, lighter one on top. But it made me think a lot actually about how it might be quite nice to try these different patches where I'm trying different combinations of colors on top of one another. So I think in one case over here, I tried this like really bright yellow and then a sky blue. And then I think it was a purple on top. But it just created this really lovely, it's quite hard to capture here, but a really lovely kind of combination in that corner. But yeah, I'd really love to see you guys experiment and try stuff out. And I'm going to have a lot of fun experimenting with this. more. Let me just show you how it's looking so far. So if you can see, so you might be able to see here. Amy says it's lovely. It's like the effect of oil and water puddle. Yeah, it looks very iridescent, I have to say, in the same way that the image that Madeline had posted of that mermaid's tail. So that was what I was thinking, that this kind of rainbow effects that you get from, even when you see like scales from a fish or something shimmering in the water. So kind of want to keep it. This is something I'm guilty of, but I'll fiddle in something else, start working into something else. So, maybe just to kind of build on top of this, I might use something like this cream. So again, something that's a good blender color from the background to just bring everything together. But I'd be interested to see what the effect was if it was Gamsol or another type of blending oil or something like that. Madeline, sorry, let me just catch up. Madeline says, really nice. Angela, I can hear you and read the comments, but the video just froze. Oh no. That's okay, at least I can hear it. Well, Angela, I hope you can catch up on the video afterwards, and I can post this photo of the page into the group so you can see how this effect works a little bit more close up. And then Madeline says, that's exactly what I'm looking for. Thank you so much. No problem. Amy, could you do a quick recap of what you did for the lake kissing class? Yeah, sure. So, by the way, I didn't do this all in the last 18 minutes or whatever it was. These were all experiments where I was trying to add or kind of layer up different colors together to create a kind of iridescent effect. So it looks quite kind of, I'm trying to think of like something like an impressionist painting, or a way of subtly blending colors together. And then just to, sorry, just to bring up to speed, I'm also having some headphone trouble, so I'm actually hearing myself back as I speak, so it's a little difficult to speak and hear myself at the moment. Angela says, sorry for the typing on my phone. Amy says that would be annoying. Yeah, I know, it really is. In fact, I'm just going to take my headphones off because it's annoying me so much I can't actually hear myself think. So Amy, just to, Madeline says a Monet, yes, kind of close to that, although not really achieving it. Bingo, Madeline, yes, Amy. So yeah, Amy, basically it was about how we can build up texture by working from light to dark, and then I think in these cases I was using different little patches of color. So amongst the yellow, it was to try, patches of green and red and pinks, violets and purples and blues, to create a lot more kind of, I suppose, dynamic texture, I suppose. So it's something that feels as though it's got a bit of movement in it, and it's a bit kind of blurred. In this case here, I actually tried to pick out little circles. I don't know if you can see that, just by using a little bit of purple and green to just pick out some almost smaller shapes. If you wanted to add some sort of like, I don't know, a reptile skin, or something that was a little bit more unusual in there. But yeah, it was really just to show you how you can quite easily build up color. And in this example here, what I did was worked with a purple and then an orange, and then from each corner I began to use a kind of a lighter. So here I've got like a mid purple, and then I'm using more of a violet, or it's got a little bit more red in it, I suppose. It's I think it's this color here, this processed red. And then again working in a blue and then a red as well, so you can see what happens as you begin to build up and combine color in that way. Who've been the eagle-eyed amongst you? I don't know if anyone else has spotted that. I'll talk about that in a second, but yeah, it was I just thought it was a nice way to create a more kind of subtle effect, and yeah, create a little bit more texture. And it was a great question by Madeline, actually, because that made me think about something more specific about how this effect could be used. But I just thought of it as another way of trying to create your own colors and to kind of add another dimension or depth to things. So like in the case of this green, it was about how you could begin to create images that felt less flat, I suppose. Madeline says yes. So for you guys that don't know, I've been very busy working on a book, and I got the proofs yesterday, and so this is how it's looking so far. There's a couple of things I'm going to change. Amy, I see. Thank you. Woohoo! A book. Yeah, that's right. And inside, you can see there's some word mandalas that I've posted in the group. Madeline, you said that you'll post your sample page. Yeah, I can post a sample page. I've been posting them in the group twice a week for the past couple of months or so. But yeah, I can post one. But really, they're just the word mandalas that I've been sharing with you guys, and then also towards the back, I included I've got some bonus pages in there as well, but just some ideas for a midnight edition of the word mandalas. I mean, I'll do a proper I'll properly go through the book when it's ready. But I reckon in another week or two it will be there. I just need to make a few changes. Madeline, no, not the mandalas. The coloring that you just did. You'll post your sample page. Oh yes, sorry. I'm so sorry. I keep forgetting to do this. Yes, to post. Do you mean a sample page of some of the coloring that I've been doing of my own mandalas? Because I just thought actually that's something I could do today. Amy, fabulous. I'm working on the word patience right now. Cool. Actually, in the book, I thought about trying to incorporate some tester pages as well, so you could practice stuff before you have a go at some of the word mandalas. But Madeline, maybe something we could do now is if I kind of just go through and I could color one of the pages. For the next kind of 30 minutes or so, and you guys, if you want to ask questions or post anything, then you could do that. Madeline, sorry, no, the model coloring you just showed us. Oh yeah, of course I'll post this. You'll post your sample page, the coloring you just did. So yes, I'll post this in the group. Is that what she meant? I'll definitely be posting this in the group for sure. Don't worry about that. Yeah, maybe actually what might be best is when the book's finished, I can kind of go through and we could do a page together. Maybe it's something we could all do, like a little color along or something like that. Do a page in the next couple of weeks. But is that what you wanted, Madeline? Was it for me to send this in? Amy, that would be fun and informative. Yeah, no problem. And yeah, I hope that kind of answers that question of creating that iridescent effect. And I bet, Madeline, that your book would be really useful as well. It sounds like a good one in terms of trying to create more effects like that. And actually, if anyone else has any questions at all, it could be coloring related, it could be about anything else that's, some of the coloring materials that you're using, or questions about that. I know someone posted a great question in today about how to use petroleum jelly to blend, which was great. And I know Madeline answered that really well. But yeah, if there's anything that I can do to help, or if you have any questions at all, I'd be really happy to help. So I think, we're coming up to about the 30-minute mark. And yeah, let me know, guys, if there's anything else that you wanted to know or ask. Otherwise, I can kind of wrap things up, and we can. I can send this photo into the group, and you can kind of check it out and see. Madeline says, yes, that's what I meant. Are you going through Amazon for the publishing, or someone? I'm doing it all myself, but yeah, I'm publishing it through Amazon. So it will be available on there. But yeah, I'm kind of doing it all on my own. So I'm trying to keep up with everything at the moment, including renovating the house. So yeah, it will be hopefully available in the next couple of weeks. But I'll let you guys know as soon as it is. So yeah, maybe it might be a good point at this point to wrap up if nobody else had any questions or anything like that. But again, if you're watching this back on YouTube or Crowdcast, then you can subscribe through Crowdcast, and you can be notified of when I'll be live next, and it will be every Wednesday, unless otherwise in the group we've kind of changed things. Amy just says, thank you for the recap. You're publishing it yourself. Goodness, are we we are redoing ours too. Hang in there. Oh, I see, your house. Hang in there, and I can't wait to buy the book. Oh, thank you. It's very kind. Yeah, it's we've been in the house for about 6 months now, and there's still quite a long way to go. So yeah, I'm slowly but surely getting there. So yeah, and if you are catching this back on YouTube as well, you don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and you can join us in the Facebook group where there's some great people there, and you can ask questions and post your work, and we can kind of give feedback on it as well. And one other thought I had actually was, and I don't know what you guys think to this, Madeline, been a good session, thank you, no problem. Angela, bye everyone, have to start work now. Hope everyone has a great day. I can't wait for your book. Please post on Facebook when the book is ready. Thanks for the cast, Cole. Angela, no problem, and wish you a good day at work. And I know it's a bit tricky sometimes to kind of catch these things. But yeah, I just wanted to kind of end on, if you guys thought it would be good if maybe we could talk about some of the work that people are posting in the group as well, and maybe go through some things, and rather than me just kind of going through coloring techniques, we could talk about some of the work and techniques and ideas and things that you use yourself to kind of create things. So more of a kind of a feedback session on the work. We could do that live if you wanted to, but anyway, just an idea that I had. But let me know if there's something that you want to see in particular. But in the meantime, wishing you all a really, really great day, and hope you enjoy the rest of your week. And thank you so much for joining me again, and looking forward to doing this again soon. Amy just adds, I would love that. Madeline is a great colorist. Yeah, no doubt. And she's not the only one. Madeline says, yes, that would be really helpful. Yeah, of course we could do that. So yeah, maybe we could try and pick out one work a week that we could kind of talk a little bit more about. Maybe that could be fun. But yes, thank you, Amy. Thank you, Madeline. Thank you, Angela. Have I missed anyone else? Amy, Madeline, Angela, and I'm quite sure there was someone else. Who else was here? Janet. Was Janet here? Anyway, great to have you guys on, and I will see you in the group, and wishing you a great week and weekend in the meantime, and I'll catch you guys next week. Take care. See ya.